I want to check out this video about the absolute state of Naraka from OSK Gaming in 2023 because
Time of year, it's
because I feel a sort of way about
hello everyone, welcome.
Naraka, right? Because while I do want to play the game, and I think the game is a really cool game, and I do want to learn the game, what bothers me about Naraka is the bots, right? I'm trying to ignore the bots and just play and just be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna play, I'm just gonna, unlock the stuff, which is probably what I still will do. But it's like I can't really take the game seriously, as I play a lot of competitive games. It's not that I'm like super great at all the competitive games and stuff that I play, but at least when I'm playing against people in the competitive games I play, I know that I'm playing against humans, right? Minus maybe Fortnite, sometimes you might get some bots in your game. Maybe you might get some people that don't walk around or do anything in Apex here and there. But for the most part, every game, especially in fighting games, I play fighting games. When I queue up against when I queue up in ranked in a fighting game, I'm playing another human. Period. Right? Unless if there's a bot, it is clear that it is a bot, right? From the moment you queue up. From what I've seen from people in the very, very low ranks, bottom ranks, when you first, if you say that you're brand new to fighting games and then you queue up in ranked, they're gonna put you against a few bots first to get you acquainted to the game, right? And if they did that in this game, that would be fine. But they don't even let you know that most of the people are bots in your game. You just have to figure it out for yourself. And sometimes I think that gets you really complacent in the game, because you'll be running around just swinging at stuff and you'll think, oh, this is probably just a bot or whatever. You might beat a human. It might beat somebody that is on your skill level that's just also mashing, and then maybe you beat a human, but then most of the time you see their name and it's some generic name, and you're just oh, well, that was a bot. And then eventually you're mashing, you run up to somebody else, it's oh, here comes another bot probably. And then this person counters you and then combos you, uppercuts you, and then you're oh, I should have took the fight more seriously. But it's because there are so many bots in the game, you don't really take any of the fight seriously at some point. And then you don't know when you're not fighting a bot and when you're not fighting a human. I feel maybe a bot should be clearly defined. When a bot runs up to you, they literally have something above their head that signifies that they're an AI bot, right? That when you see it, you're okay, this person is a bot, or this character is a bot. I can just fight this real quick. I don't have to take it too seriously. But if somebody runs up to you, they don't have that thing above their head, you have to take that fight a little more seriously. They got to do something if they want to keep the bots in the game. They either need to remove the bots or clearly define what bots are in the game. That's just what I think they should do. But as a new player, to really take the game seriously and want to get into it and play it.
Welcome back to another Naraka Blade Point video. This is OSK, and I am back. Today we're going to discuss Naraka in 2023, specifically about the absolute state of the game. As everyone does around this time of year, it's time to reflect on what 2022 did well and what 2023 will have in store, specifically what I want it to have in store for Naraka Blade Point. In this video, we're going to go over what Naraka has done well, what it has done wrong, and what I wish would happen in the future so that it can become better. As always, if you like what you see and want to see more of it, please be sure to like the video and subscribe, maybe comment and share as well. You can also join as a channel member down below. And without further ado, follow the socials and let's get to the video. The first thing we'll go over is what Naraka has done really well. This is specifically what does not need to change and what can stay the same for 2023 going forward. And to start, I believe that the combat is a no-brainer. Barring any network issues or ping issues that we'll talk about later, combat fundamentally is a really fun and fast system, and I really appreciate the sort of lopsided combat triangle that we have going on. You have your focus attacks, your normal attacks, and your parries, but it's not a rock, paper, scissors scenario. You also have spacing, you have dodges, you have so many other different
fighting game
combat
things.
Triangle that really makes
neutral.
This thing fast-paced and varied. Not to mention, each weapon has its own mechanic, and there's also combos to be had, so all in all, I think that combat itself, along with character skills and ultimates, does not really need to be changed going forward. Of course, balancing is always an issue that needs to be brought up and that needs to be tweaked, but in terms of general combat, I think it's done pretty well. In that same vein,
well, the only thing that I think about the combat is like as a new player, it does feel kind of it feels kind of jank sometimes, right? Like sometimes, like when you're spinning around a lot and you're like trying to get your target. And I mean, I guess that will come with time where I'll like, as I'm already getting used to like aiming and looking at stuff. Now I keep the melee aim assist on, and maybe that could be a part of it because it feels kind of sticky and weird a little bit. Maybe I'll turn it off and try it off, but I generally want to keep it on for now. I think it's just better as like people are just kind of like zipping past you, flying past you, doing whatever. And I don't know all the combos, and I don't know all the strings of all the weapons. So sometimes like if people are flying past me, sometimes like the aim assist will help me and turn me toward that direction. It doesn't turn the camera because I'm not using a controller. I'm using keyboard and mouse. But I think it still helps me a little bit to keep the aim assist on. If not, maybe I'll try it without it at some point. But I don't know. It just sometimes it can feel a little weird as a new player. And I play fighting games, so like I'm just used to a lot more tight frame perfect controls in like hits and things like that, because I've been playing Street Fighter. I play a ton of other 2D fighters, 3D fighters, and all that kind of stuff over the past like 10 plus years. I've been playing fighting games, so that could be the reason why. It's like, as if I'm approaching it as a fighting game, it just feels kind of loose, like and kind of jank if I'm looking at it as a fighting game. But I'm separating it from it being a fighting game. It's a BR. You're running around. You're in an open world setting. In an open area setting with a lot of people, and the net code is definitely different than you would have in a regular like fighting game. So I can understand.
I think that the character designs have done really well so far as well. What I'm referring to is the look of each character, the moveset of each character, and how they affect the meta in both solos and trios. Now, obviously, Naraka has made some bad steps. I believe that zipping Ying on release is an obvious example of this. And of course, I'm sure every player at some point has fallen victim to a Tarka Infinite. I see these things as more
I have not yet, because I have not gotten to that level.
I think that the ability to eat through normal attacks is actually a pretty great ability if you balance it correctly like they have now. And same thing with Tarka G's ability to dash out of pretty much anything, any move, any disadvantage state while he's in his ultimate, with that caveat. I think
that's kind of crazy.
Having an iframe elbow, maybe not, but I think in general the character design is varied enough and interesting enough.
So he has a Shoryuken,
pretty much character you can get your hands on. With the exception of maybe Tianhai and Yueshan, I don't feel like I'm playing the same character every time that I queue up with a different one. So in that vein, I think it does pretty well. Of course, we can talk about how Faria Shin is a bit immersion breaking, but I won't in this video. And of course, we can't go without saying a huge congratulations and a huge thank you to the cosmetics team. They always knock it out of the park. You guys are amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. Animations also look reasonably smooth, so I will consider that a plus in this category. I'll also give praise to the new map that came out, Holoroth. I think it's really well done. It has gone through a bit of some issues with optimization. I think that's more of a general Naraka optimization problem, as no matter if I'm on Morris Isle or Holoroth, I do always seem to eat up all of my CPU, and if I have something like Google Chrome open, it's just not going to be a good time for me.
I've noticed that with like the optimization type of thing. I mean, I don't know, like some games I can run 2 OBSs, or I used to run 1 OBS with OBS 29 in vertical, but right now I have to figure out what's wrong with that. I may reset my computer. I don't know. But when I have 2 OBSs open when I'm playing certain games, it's fine. Like I'm streaming to TikTok and I'm streaming to Twitch at the same time on 2 different OBSs, and I'm golden, right? Like when I play Street Fighter 6, I'm golden. But fighting games don't really take that much CPU to play. So like I'm kind of good there when I'm playing fighting games. If I'm playing like Valorant, like when I used to play Valorant, I was able to do it. I did lose some frames, and there was at one point there was something where it was like making my game skip, but it wasn't that. It was something to do with the polling rate on my mouse. When I reduced the polling rate on my mouse, all the skipping stopped. But when I'm like, some games are fine, and this is not one of them. I cannot really play this game and stream it to 2 platforms at once. I can't have 2 versions of OBS open at one time, and I can't use OBS 29 in vertical. Even if it was working, I don't think I could do it because it drops the frame rate of this game to like 30 frames, and I'm just like, that's rough. And I did it once. Like, I did play the game and I streamed it to TikTok and Twitch at the same time. The first time I started playing the game, maybe a couple of days ago, and it just didn't feel good. Like, I was definitely losing a lot of to like some bots too, like, and trying to like track stuff. It was hard because like it didn't look smooth. But then when I closed one of my OBS windows, and I was streaming to just to Twitch, it was fine. Like, I had 60 FPS plus, 70 plus or whatever, and it was fine. But so like that's the one thing that I don't like about it, because I can't stream it to 2 platforms. Usually I stream to TikTok to gain viewership and be like, hey guys, come over to Twitch if you want to. If not, then I have people to talk to that are in TikTok chat, and then I can use that on my VODs and make my VODs and videos, blah 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 blah. So it kind of throws a wrench into how I do my content. And if I want to make content for Naraka, what I usually do now is just record it and just record it and put it up that way rather than stream it. Or if I stream it to Twitch only, I don't stream it to TikTok. But yeah, and I just stream, Street Fighter to TikTok and Twitch when I do stream Street Fighter. So I mean, it kind of throws a wrench in some things sometimes, but hopefully maybe it'll get better over time. You never know, right?
Needs to improve. But in terms of map design and all the different locales and everywhere you can go, the varied heights, all that sort of stuff, I think that they do very well with the map design. And of course, Realm of Yang was a great addition. I'm really
the maps. Like, just talking about the maps, like I am not somebody who is really, I guess I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not good enough to care about like the map designs, because I like the game, right? I like playing the game. They could throw me on any map that they make, and I'm gonna be like, cool, new map, right? It doesn't bother me. I don't dislike playing on either of the maps or whatever. For the most part, I didn't even really pay that much attention to the fact that there was multiple maps until I needed to go to a specific place, and they were like, yeah, like in this one thing, they're like, yeah, go to the castle or whatever in the middle of the map. And then like the next match I played, or next couple of matches I played, there was no castle in the middle of the map. So I was like, oh, it's a different map. So like, I'm just down to play the game, run around on the maps, and just basically looking for players and grabbing loot wherever I gotta go, and I'm down for the maps. The map would literally have to be flat with nothing on it for me to be like, yeah, this kind of sucks, or it's just just a desert with nothing in it. Like,
glad that they did it. Hopefully that stays in the future and it's not a seasonal thing. And of course, we can't really talk about Naraka without talking about the absolute unchained movement that it has in its gameplay. It's bar none the best thing about the game. I cannot praise it enough. It's fluid, it's fast, and it just makes every single moment of playing Naraka that much more enjoyable, especially when you master it. So those are the main things I wanted to highlight.
I'm working on getting better at movement.
It's got its core gameplay pretty much down, barring any network issues, but now we're going to talk about what Naraka does very poorly and what it can improve on in the future. Of course, if you ever played Naraka Blade Point, you would know that it does suffer from a lot of ping issues outside of its home region in China. If you've played Naraka for any amount of time in the Western regions like Europe or North America, or if you've even seen
that could be why it
feels like that. This is not a secret. Naraka does have ping issues, and it's not a small thing. I think that.
So what they need to do is bring some servers to North America, bring servers to Europe, have servers in other regions besides China. I wasn't aware of this, so maybe that's why it feels like it feels. And maybe if we did have servers in North America, and Europe had their own servers, we would have, it would feel a lot better. Like, I assume that maybe that's why some people don't play it, or some people don't doesn't feel good. But I mean, for the most part, it feels okay, right? It does feel kind of sticky. It does feel kind of sticky a little bit, but like I guess I understand since I'm playing on a server that's based in China. So like, yeah, we just need some servers for the game in North America. I don't know how that was gonna go over, because North American government like, no, we don't want any Chinese servers in our North America. So like, who knows if we'll ever get that, but.
That Gion Jorio has a really good video outlining everything, as well as Psycho Waffle. But the problem with ping is that there are certain ranges where some things work, and there are certain ranges where other things work. So the higher your ping, typically the more you're able to get away with. For example, on higher ping, you have access to some combos that you can't get on lower ping, and vice
What you
versa.
mean?
Also on higher ping, sometimes the server will completely ignore any attempt to parry. And there's a reason why this is a big pain point for players that are suspected of using VPNs from other regions and sort of ruining the game from that standpoint. The fact of the matter is, it does affect gameplay in a big way, and because it's not a shooter and you can't really insta-kill anybody, and you're kind of relying on the game working well for you to really get a kill on it, it's just all the more frustrating whenever you die to it. So hopefully in that vein, we get a little bit better infrastructure coming over to the western side of things, and in that same vein, I really hope that they address the player population problem. So currently at my rank, which by the way is comparatively not very high, about rank 300, I am sitting in queue.
Not very high. Rank 300. Bro. Bro. Wait. Oh, okay. This is 6 months ago. So I thought this video was recent. I just saw the thumbnail and then it was recommended to me, and I assumed that he was talking about the game like now after it released free to play and was added to PS5. So player population should be fixed, right? Because like player population now should be at an all-time high, seeing as it's free to play and it's on PS5.
For anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes during prime time.
God,
for those of you that don't know, North America prime time is anywhere from about 4 p.m. Central to about probably a little past midnight. And where I'm at, if you try to queue up at any time before or after prime time, you will simply not get any queues.
Oh,
The queue time is programmed to send you a brief message saying nobody's on after about 30 minutes of trying to look for a match.
that sucks.
You get this,
People that play games that are like dead and they have to deal with this matchmaking thing where like sometimes they just can't matchmake. I'm like, why do I know you love the game, but there are so many other games out there to play, and if they don't do something for the game to like improve the game or improve, like, I mean, they have done that now with going free to play. So hopefully matchmaking queues are fixed and this doesn't happen anymore. But why would you play a game where you have to wait 30 minutes for a queue? I mean, if you're high ranked, that's different. I think that's different because like if you're high ranked, then generally it's trying to match you with people that are high ranked. But there's like if you're high ranked, you're going to be matched against people that there's not a lot of people in your rank to match you against. And if they they try to wait and they expand the circle out to people that are slightly lower ranked than you, because if you're at the highest ranks and nobody higher ranked than you is online, and they start expanding the circle so that it encompasses lower ranks, then it pulls you into lobbies where you'll just basically pub stomp the lobby, and like they don't necessarily want that, because that's the whole point of having a rank system. So you go up and get matched against people of your own skill level, and people that are below you don't have to worry about getting necessarily pub stomped as long as they're not like Smurfs in the game, because at that point it's just matchmaking you into a Smurf game, and you're a Smurf and you didn't even ask to be a Smurf. But yeah, like I don't know, like I don't feel like I could wait that long unless you were, I guess maybe if you were a content creator and you're getting excessive amounts of views, and your viewership, all that comes from this game. I don't know, man. I don't know how I would handle that, because if if all of my content was from that one game, and then the game was basically dying, and I could barely get any matches, and I had to play at a specific time during the day in order to even have any content or have like matches to try to rank up, it must take tons and tons of time to rank up at that point, because like now you've got to play a certain time of the day, you've got to play as many matches as you can, and then you keep getting this. I don't know if I would continue playing that game. I would find something else to make content on. I don't know. If I ever get to that point in my content career, maybe I'll figure it out. But I mean, right now I'm playing a lot of different things, so I don't want to get stuck in that rut. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little bit disheartening because the game is quite literally dead in my region outside of prime time. Now, I can start a custom match and get on with a few friends that way, or I could also go into free practice and practice some combos, but it's not the same as being able to play the actual ranked game. So Naraka Bladepoint clearly has a player population problem, and I believe that this is due to the lack of marketing in the West paired with the pay-to-play model with other microtransactions in the game. Since day
100%.
one, it's been a pain point from many potential players that
100%.
Naraka Bladepoint is pretty much the only battle royale on the market that comes with an upfront price point. And in this vein,
Which
why
is
would you pay
dumb.
$20 to play a battle royale whenever everything else is free? That's not even to mention the fact that the game has microtransactions complete with premium currency and all that sort of stuff that you would expect out of a free-to-play model,
Right.
but it still charges the $20. Now, if you were to ask me at launch, I said that $20 is well worth it for a game like this because it's just that different and it does play that well, or at least it did back then. Nowadays, I believe that the game is really hurting for players here in the West, so I would not be surprised, and I would really hope that they start exploring the free-to-play option even more.
And you called it, bro.
Can't become popular.
You called it
enough attention
here from 6 months in the future.
China, there are millions of players that play every day, and also the World Championship just concluded, which included a $1.5 million prize pool. So
God!
They don't have the funds and they don't have the popularity to make this happen. So hopefully in the future, Naraka does explore the free-to-play model and markets the game more, so we can get some more players in here.
Get some servers in America.
Also a better experience overall. And I do understand the worry of the game becoming free-to-play that will invite or will incentivize hackers and cheaters to do their thing.
They've already been doing that though, right?
At this point, we're hurting too much from long queue times and also just from players saying no at the price point by itself. So I hope we can explore the free-to-play model. I think it is the way to go from now on. And I guess we can go ahead and get into features that I would like Naraka to have, and also just changes that Naraka should make in the future, since I'm already discussing it. If
Servers
Naraka
in
does
America,
see the upsurge
main
of
thing.
players from a game becoming free-to-play and marketing the game more frequently here in North America, I would hope that they would invest some more money into building out the server infrastructure so that we can have less ping in our own regions. Me personally, I live in Tennessee. It's not that far away from the East Coast, but I still experience 50 to 60 ping anytime that I jump into a match. For comparison's sake, in the home region of China, where the game plays much smoother, the ping over there is an average of 20 to 30. So my ideal scenario would be to make the game free to play, market the game more so we have more players, and hopefully,
which is still pretty high,
more server
I think. Yeah,
that would be my ideal scenario.
Still pretty
I would also
high.
like the game to have a more meaningful report system. I believe that most of the time the game doesn't even really do anything with its report system.
Ain't nobody to
Also,
report.
if,
It's
for
all
whatever
bot.
reason, the name that you're trying to report has characters that you're unable to copy paste, or for that matter type out. I would hope that in the future there's some sort of recent players list you can go through that will assist you in that system. And I guess in that same
think that
vein,
might
we
be
don't
there,
really have
actually.
a recent players for the solo mode. So like if a player that you just played against, if you had a good match, you want to friend them, there isn't really a way to do that unless you manually search them on the leaderboard if they're
Yeah, I think you
on
can
the
do that
leaderboard
now,
at all.
too.
So that's something I hope to see changed. Also, I don't really know the costs associated with this, but I would really like
I
it
think
if
you can do
Naraka
that now.
Bladepoint had a replay system. Currently, the only way to go over footage is to record the footage yourself and then replay it from your own perspective. So I'm hoping in the future that Naraka Bladepoint introduces an omniscient replay system.
Yeah, the replay systems in BRs are weird. I mean, the only one I know of that I've actually paid attention to is Fortnite, and in Fortnite's, I don't know about now. Maybe now it's omniscient, but like I remember there was only like a small region around you that would record what was going on. But I think it's omniscient now. I think that you can see everything everywhere in the replay, if I'm not mistaken. But I do remember there was a time where it would only record a certain distance around your character. That was kind of weird, but yeah, like replays and BRs. And I think the only the thing about having like replays and BRs, it's good to know like how people are reacting and how like where people like to move and where people were moving when you were moving. That's what I'm interested in seeing in replays and BRs and stuff like that. Like, so like if I watch a replay, I'm like, okay, well, where did everybody land? Or where did well, in this one you kind of know where everybody started, but like how are people moving around the map? When like if you zoom out, maybe you'd be able to see everybody with all their names and see how they're moving around the map, where they move when the circle moves, how many people got stuck in the storm, and like how many people die like off like landing in the beginning of the game and stuff like that. Because if you're not paying attention to the kill feed all the time, sometimes if you are paying attention to the kill feed, you'll see like the same person like just destroying everyone. But you want to know where they were and how they were moving through the map. That kind of will help you learn how better players play, how they do their rotations and all that kind of stuff.
Just so I can see rotations of players.
Yeah,
going
exactly.
And that sort of thing, so I can get some more info and improve at the game from there. Yep. I mean, heck, even PUBG, whenever it first released, had a replay system.
Oh, did they?
So I would hope that is something that Naraka Bladepoint could do, given that it's a cash cow at this point. Now that that's been said, I'll just give you my full verdict for how Naraka Bladepoint is in 2023. I think it's really good. This current patch that we're on right now does have issues with ping, probably the worst that I've seen in the game. But as long as I can get that corrected, I think Naraka is in a good place to go forward. It's got great combat, the movement is unparalleled, the maps are varied, character design is some of the best that I've seen, and it's just overall a really good experience when it works. When it bugs out or it doesn't work, it is very painful. In the current landscape of games that are out right now, especially Battle Royale, I do not see any reason for Naraka to keep pushing its $20 price point. I'm not really sure how the law works in terms of making it free to play for certain regions only and making it pay to play for others, but I think at this point, at least for the West, it needs to go free to play for it to see any more growth. Queue times are much longer than other games currently, especially the popular ones, and the $20 price point at this point, I mean, you already have microtransactions, so why would you need an entry price? So hopefully we see
especially because that will bring in more players.
Before I forget, yes, I do believe
bring in more players. More players means the more players will spend more money on stuff. Like I bought one of the edition upgrades because specifically for being able to, which I didn't end up doing because the edition upgrade gave you character hero coins. I was gonna spend, which would have been a mistake. I was gonna spend all my silver, like the Tay or whatever, on hero coins to unlock a character, which would have been a terrible decision because I need that Tay silver or whatever to upgrade the the rune page thing that they have in the game. And I didn't know that at the time, but I'm so glad that I saved all of the silver that I accrued while I was playing the game, because I was able to upgrade a significant amount of the runes and stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably something that they should maybe, I don't know if they tell you that in the tutorial or not, but it's probably something that they should push very hard to tell you, hey, don't spend your Tay on random stuff. You're going to need that to upgrade your runes on your rune pages. And then that would have been a huge mistake. That would have been a huge mistake that put me back, but I'm glad I didn't do that.
The game will eventually release for PlayStation. However, I have seen the optimization both on PC and on Xbox, and personally, while I know that there's a lot of PlayStation people waiting to play the game, you do not want to play it when it's unoptimized. So it is my hope that the devs fix this optimization problem before they release it to yet another console. As it stands currently, PlayStation is really the only major console left to release it on, so this is sort of a last chance.
Wait, is Naraka on Switch?
A release boost from that perspective. So if they screw this one up for PlayStation, then there's really no coming back from it. So it is my hope that they make the game free to play, they increase their optimization by a large amount, and we continue to have the same great gameplay that we've been having, along with fewer network issues. If we
That's got to be a bot,
going,
right? Because at some point you'd be like, all right, let me just turn around and fight this person.
2023. Right now it's good, but it could be great. So those are my full thoughts on Naraka Blade Point in 2023.
Unless bots can't pick up scrolls.
And guys, sorry for being away for so long. We had a family issue come up, so I've been away for about 2 weeks, and by away I mean away from my keyboard. I did have a Faria Shin guide planned to come out, and I'll still release it. It's just the basics of Faria Shin, so it's nothing too crazy. So that will be coming out here pretty shortly, I think. And I'm also going to try something new. By the time that this video comes out, it should be Tuesday, and I actually plan on going live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, starting at 6 Central for Tuesday and Thursday. And I haven't figured out the time for Saturday. Hopefully I get that figured out before then. But yeah, I want to start doing YouTube streams, so you might see me live after this video goes up. Again, that's Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central, and Saturday I'll get back to you on it. And of course, the best way to stay up to date on all that is to follow the socials down below. You can join the Discord or follow me on Twitter for all these sort of updates. Cool, and with that, I'll go ahead and head out. I've been OSK, you'll have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.
All right. Okay. So far, I think the main thing that they need to do is, just like I said in the beginning, they need to get rid of the bots. The bots make the game feel not worth playing. Like, not worth playing. It makes it feel not worth taking seriously. Like, it's a cool game to, you know, hang out and just, you know, try to go slice some people up. And you know, try to see if you can, you know, get your placement and you know, get your points and try to like rank up. But it does, like, skill doesn't really seem to. I don't want to devote my time to getting better at the game, because I'm just fighting bots. And then when I'm not fighting bots, I don't know it until I get beat by someone, and I'm just like, oh. Now I gotta determine whether I'm fighting a bot or a human. It's when I come in contact with them, and it's like, come on, man, just turn the bots off. If you're not gonna turn the bots off, significantly reduce the amount of bots that are in the game, or put something above their head that signifies that they are a AI bot. That way, you'll know that the thing that you're fighting, or the character that you're fighting, is not a human. Like, I think they should do that. Like, if you differentiate the two, it'll be like, okay, this fight I'm not going to take that seriously, or I see this person over there, they don't have a thing above their head. Do I want to take that fight with them? Yeah, maybe I'll take this fight with them. I might be able to beat them. Let's try to take them out, right? Or when you see a bunch of people fighting, you see like 4 people fighting, it's like, at least you'll know which one was the bot, or which one was the human, and which ones are the bots, so that you can attack the appropriate character. And then you don't, like, maybe, I don't know, because sometimes you want to attack them. I mean, it's not the best idea to attack them. You see a bunch of people fighting, it's probably a better idea to leave, right? It might be a better idea to leave, or stay on the outside and wait for, you know, them try to peel off, and then like pick them off as they try to run and heal, right? That's what you probably want to do. But if you don't know which ones are bots, then it'd be like, okay, well, if the one that ran off to heal was a bot, I could probably leave that dude alone and wait for the human to run off and try to heal and attack them, because I can tell which ones are bots, which ones are humans. But like, otherwise, you just don't want to jump into a fight like that. You just leave the fight alone, to be honest. Which I'm gonna have to start doing a lot more. I'm just not gonna hop into. I hit the foot pedal under my desk. I'm just not gonna hop into fights where there's a bunch of people just to get placement. Let them pick themselves off, and then like I'll get placement points just by staying away from that fight. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is going forward. Hopefully, Naraka improves, and we hear about how, hey, they're removing bots, or they're making some, you know, huge update to remove bots. Hopefully that pops up in my recommended sometime this week, next week, whenever. But next week I'll be playing Rashid in Street Fighter 6. So, yeah, yeah, I mean, at some point we will return to Naraka Blade Point, but I'm probably going to be going heavy on Rashid to learn Rashid next week, and then while everybody is at Evo over the weekend, I'll be getting my rank points without all the good players being online. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.